The Wonderful City of Oz.
Чудесный город Оз.
The Wonderful City of Oz. Sorrowfully Dorothy left the throne room.
Печально Дороти покинула тронный зал.
Sorrowfully Dorothy left the throne room. And went back where the lion and the scarecrow.
И вернулась туда, где лев, Страшила.
And went back where the lion and the scarecrow. And the Tin Woodman were waiting.
И Железный Дровосек ждали.
And the Tin Woodman were waiting. To hear what Oz had said to her.
Чтобы услышать, что сказал ей Оз.
To hear what Oz had said to her. There is no hope for me.
У меня нет надежды.
There is no hope for me. She said sadly.
Печально сказала она.
She said sadly. For Oz will not send me home.
Потому что Оз не отправит меня домой.
For Oz will not send me home. Until I have killed the wicked witch of the West.
Пока я не убью злую ведьму Запада.
Until I have killed the wicked witch of the West. And that I can never do.
И этого я никогда не смогу сделать.
And that I can never do. Her friends were sorry.
Ее друзья сожалели.
Her friends were sorry. But could do nothing to help her.
Но ничем не могли ей помочь.
But could do nothing to help her. So Dorothy went to her own room.
Поэтому Дороти пошла к себе в комнату.
So Dorothy went to her own room. And lay down on the bed and cried herself to sleep.
Легла на кровать и плакала, пока не уснула.
And lay down on the bed and cried herself to sleep. The next morning the soldier with the green whiskers.
На утро солдат с зелеными бакенбардами.
The next morning the soldier with the green whiskers. Came to the Scarecrow and said.
Пришел к Страшиле и сказал.
Came to the Scarecrow and said. Come with me, for Oz has sent for you.
Пойдем со мной, Оз отправил за тобой.
Come with me, for Oz has sent for you. So the Scarecrow followed him.
Страшила последовал за ним.
So the Scarecrow followed him. And was admitted into the great throne room.
И был допущен в большой тронный зал.
And was admitted into the great throne room. Where he saw, sitting in the emerald throne.
Где увидел сидящую на изумрудном троне.
Where he saw, sitting in the emerald throne. A most lovely lady.
Прекраснейшую даму.
A most lovely lady. She was dressed in green silk gauze.
Она была одета в зеленое шелковое платье.
She was dressed in green silk gauze. And wore upon her flowing green locks.
А на распущенных зеленых кудрях красовалась.
And wore upon her flowing green locks. A crown of jewels.
Корона из драгоценных камней.
A crown of jewels. Growing from her shoulders were wings.
Из ее плеч росли крылья.
Growing from her shoulders were wings. Gorgeous in color and so light.
Великолепного цвета и такие легкие.
Gorgeous in color and so light. That they fluttered if the slightest breath of air reached them.
Что они трепетали при малейшем дуновении воздуха.
That they fluttered if the slightest breath of air reached them. When the Scarecrow had bowed.
Когда Страшила поклонился.
When the Scarecrow had bowed. As prettily as his straw stuffing would let him.
Насколько позволяла его соломенная набивка.
As prettily as his straw stuffing would let him. Before this beautiful creature.
Перед этим прекрасным созданием.
Before this beautiful creature. She looked upon him sweetly, and said.
Она ласково взглянула на него и сказала.
She looked upon him sweetly, and said. I am Oz, the great and terrible.
Я Оз, великий и ужасный.
I am Oz, the great and terrible. Who are you, and why do you seek me?
Кто ты и почему ищешь меня?
Who are you, and why do you seek me? Now the Scarecrow.
Теперь Страшила.
Now the Scarecrow. Who had expected to see the great head?
Ожидавший увидеть великую голову.
Who had expected to see the great head? Dorothy had told him of.
О которой ему рассказывала Дороти.
Dorothy had told him of. Was much astonished.
Был очень удивлен.
Was much astonished. But he answered her bravely.
Но он ответил ей храбро.
But he answered her bravely. I am only a scarecrow, stuffed with straw.
Я всего лишь страшила, набитый соломой.
I am only a scarecrow, stuffed with straw. Therefore I have no brains.
Поэтому у меня нет мозгов.
Therefore I have no brains. And I come to you praying.
И я пришел к вам с мольбой.
And I come to you praying. That you will put brains in my head instead of straw.
Чтобы вы вложили мне в голову мозги вместо соломы.
That you will put brains in my head instead of straw. So that I may become as much a man.
Чтобы я мог стать таким же человеком.
So that I may become as much a man. As any other in your dominions.
Как и любой другой в ваших владениях.
As any other in your dominions. Why should I do this for you?
Почему я должен сделать это для тебя?
Why should I do this for you? Asked the lady.
Спросила леди.
Asked the lady. Because you are wise and powerful.
Потому что вы мудрый и могущественный.
Because you are wise and powerful. And no one else can help me.
И никто другой не может мне помочь.
And no one else can help me. Answered the Scarecrow.
Ответил Страшила.
Answered the Scarecrow. I never grant favors without some return.
Я никогда не оказываю услуги без вознаграждения.
I never grant favors without some return. Said Oz.
Сказал Оз.
Said Oz. But this much I will promise.
Но я обещаю.
But this much I will promise. If you will kill for me the wicked witch of the West.
Если ты убьешь для меня злую ведьму Запада.
If you will kill for me the wicked witch of the West. I will bestow upon you a great many brains.
Я одарю тебя огромным количеством мозгов.
I will bestow upon you a great many brains. And such good brains.
И таких хороших мозгов.
And such good brains. That you will be the wisest man in all the land of Oz.
Что ты будешь мудрейшим человеком во всей стране Оз.
That you will be the wisest man in all the land of Oz. I thought you asked Dorothy to kill the witch.
Я думал, вы попросили Дороти убить ведьму.
I thought you asked Dorothy to kill the witch. Said the Scarecrow, in surprise.
Удивленно сказал Страшила.
Said the Scarecrow, in surprise. So I did.
Да это так.
So I did. I don't care who kills her.
Мне все равно, кто ее убьет.
I don't care who kills her. But until she is dead I will not grant your wish.
Но пока она не умрет, я не исполню твоего желания.
But until she is dead I will not grant your wish. Now go, and do not seek me again.
А теперь иди и больше не ищи меня.
Now go, and do not seek me again. Until you have earned the brains you so greatly desire.
Пока не заслужишь мозги, которых так желаешь.
Until you have earned the brains you so greatly desire. The Scarecrow went sorrowfully back to his friends.
Страшила печально вернулся к своим друзьям.
The Scarecrow went sorrowfully back to his friends. And told them what Oz had said.
И рассказал им, что сказал Оз.
And told them what Oz had said. And Dorothy was surprised to find.
И Дороти с удивлением узнала.
And Dorothy was surprised to find. That the great wizard was not a head.
Что великий волшебник не голова.
That the great wizard was not a head. As she had seen him, but a lovely lady.
Каким она его видела, а прекрасная леди.
As she had seen him, but a lovely lady. All the same.
Все равно.
All the same. Said the Scarecrow.
Сказал Страшила.
Said the Scarecrow. She needs a heart as much as the Tin Woodman.
Сердце ей нужно не меньше, чем Железному Дровосеку.
She needs a heart as much as the Tin Woodman. On the next morning.
На следующее утро.
On the next morning. The soldier with the green whiskers.
Солдат с зелеными бакенбардами.
The soldier with the green whiskers came to the Tin Woodman and said,
Пришел к Железному Дровосеку и сказал.
came to the Tin Woodman and said, Oz has sent for you, follow me.
Ос отправил за тобой. Следуй за мной.
Oz has sent for you, follow me. So the Tin Woodman followed him.
Итак, Железный Дровосек последовал за ним.
So the Tin Woodman followed him. And came to the great throne room.
И пришел в великий тронный зал.
And came to the great throne room. He did not know whether he would find Oz.
Он не знал, встретит ли он Ос.
He did not know whether he would find Oz. A lovely lady or a head.
Прекрасной леди или головой.
A lovely lady or a head. But he hoped it would be the lovely lady.
Но надеялся, что это будет прекрасная леди.
But he hoped it would be the lovely lady. For, he said to himself.
Ибо, сказал он себе.
For, he said to himself. If it is the head, I am sure.
Если это голова, я уверен.
If it is the head, I am sure. I shall not be given a heart.
То мне не дадут сердца.
I shall not be given a heart. Since a head has no heart of its own.
Так как голова не имеет собственного сердца.
Since a head has no heart of its own. And therefore cannot feel for me.
И поэтому не может посочувствовать мне.
And therefore cannot feel for me. But if it is the lovely lady.
Но если это прекрасная дама.
But if it is the lovely lady. I shall beg hard for a heart.
Я буду усердно молить о сердце.
I shall beg hard for a heart. For all ladies are themselves said to be kindly-hearted.
Потому что все дамы, как говорят, сами по себе добросердечны.
For all ladies are themselves said to be kindly-hearted. But when the woodman entered the great throne room.
Но когда дровосек вошел в великий тронный зал.
But when the woodman entered the great throne room. He saw neither the head nor the lady.
Он не увидел ни головы, ни леди.
He saw neither the head nor the lady. For Oz had taken the shape of a most terrible beast.
Ибо Ос принял облик самого ужасного зверя.
For Oz had taken the shape of a most terrible beast. It was nearly as big as an elephant.
Он был почти таким же большим, как слон.
It was nearly as big as an elephant. And the green throne seemed hardly strong enough.
И зеленый трон казался едва ли достаточно прочным.
And the green throne seemed hardly strong enough. To hold its weight.
Чтобы выдержать его вес.
To hold its weight. The beast had a head like that of a rhinoceros.
У зверя была голова, как у носорога.
The beast had a head like that of a rhinoceros. Only there were 5 eyes in its face.
Только на морде было 5 глаз.
Only there were 5 eyes in its face. There were 5 long arms growing out of its body.
Из его тела росли 5 длинных рук.
There were 5 long arms growing out of its body. And it also had 5 long, slim legs.
А также 5 длинных тонких ног.
And it also had 5 long, slim legs. Thick, woolly hair covered.
Густые пушистые волосы покрывали.
Thick, woolly hair covered. Every part of it.
Каждую часть его тела.
Every part of it. And a more dreadful-looking monster could not be imagined.
И нельзя было представить более ужасного монстра.
And a more dreadful-looking monster could not be imagined. It was fortunate the Tin Woodman.
К счастью, у Железного Дровосека.
It was fortunate the Tin Woodman had no heart at that moment.
В тот момент не было сердца.
Had no heart at that moment. For it would have beat loud and fast from terror.
Потому что оно должно было сильно и громко биться от ужаса.
For it would have beat loud and fast from terror. But being only tin.
Но, будучи всего лишь жестью.
But being only tin. The woodman was not at all afraid.
Дровосек ничуть не испугался.
The woodman was not at all afraid. Although he was much disappointed.
Хотя и был сильно разочарован.
Although he was much disappointed. I am Oz, the great and terrible.
Я, Оз, великий и ужасный.
I am Oz, the great and terrible. Spoke the beast, in a voice that was one great roar.
Сказал зверь голосом, похожим на один великий рев.
Spoke the beast, in a voice that was one great roar. Who are you, and why do you seek me?
Кто ты и почему ищешь меня?
Who are you, and why do you seek me? I am a woodman, and made of tin.
Я дровосек и сделан из жести.
I am a woodman, and made of tin. Therefore I have no heart, and cannot love.
Поэтому у меня нет сердца, и я не могу любить.
Therefore I have no heart, and cannot love. I pray you to give me a heart.
Я прошу вас, дать мне сердце.
I pray you to give me a heart. That I may be as other men are.
Чтобы я мог быть таким, как другие люди.
That I may be as other men are. Why should I do this?
Зачем мне это делать?
Why should I do this? Demanded the beast.
Спросил зверь.
Demanded the beast. Because I ask it.
Потому что я прошу об этом.
Because I ask it. And you alone can grant my request.
И только вы можете исполнить мою просьбу.
And you alone can grant my request. Answered the woodman.
Ответил дровосек.
Answered the woodman. Oz gave a low growl at this, but said, gruffly.
Оз низко зарычал на это, но хрипло сказал.
Oz gave a low growl at this, but said, gruffly. If you indeed desire a heart.
Если ты действительно хочешь сердце.
If you indeed desire a heart. You must earn it.
Ты должен заслужить его.
You must earn it. How? Asked the woodman.
Как? Спросил дровосек.
How? Asked the woodman. Help Dorothy to kill the wicked witch of the West.
Помоги Дороти убить злую ведьму Запада.
Help Dorothy to kill the wicked witch of the West. Replied the beast.
Ответил чудовище.
Replied the beast. When the witch is dead, come to me.
Когда ведьма умрет, приходи ко мне.
When the witch is dead, come to me. And I will then give you the biggest.
И тогда я дам тебе самое большое.
And I will then give you the biggest. And kindest and most loving heart in all the land of Oz.
Самое доброе и самое любящее сердце во всей стране Оз.
And kindest and most loving heart in all the land of Oz. So the Tin Woodman.
Так что Железный Дровосек.
So the Tin Woodman. Was forced to return sorrowfully to his friends.
Был вынужден с грустью вернуться к своим друзьям.
Was forced to return sorrowfully to his friends. And tell them of the terrible beast he had seen.
И рассказать им об ужасном звере, которого он видел.
And tell them of the terrible beast he had seen. They all wondered greatly at the many forms.
Все они очень удивлялись множеству форм.
They all wondered greatly at the many forms. The great wizard could take upon himself.
Которые мог принимать великий волшебник.
The great wizard could take upon himself. And the lion said.
И лев сказал.
And the lion said. If he is a beast when I go to see him.
Если он будет зверем, когда я приду к нему.
If he is a beast when I go to see him. I shall roar my loudest, and so frighten him.
Я зарычу изо всех сил и так напугаю его.
I shall roar my loudest, and so frighten him. That he will grant all I ask.
Что он выполнит все, о чем я прошу.
That he will grant all I ask. And if he is the lovely lady.
И если он прекрасная дама.
And if he is the lovely lady. I shall pretend to spring upon her.
Я притворюсь, что набрасываюсь на нее.
I shall pretend to spring upon her. And so compel her to do my bidding.
И таким образом заставлю ее выполнить мои приказы.
And so compel her to do my bidding. And if he is the great head.
А если он большая голова?
And if he is the great head. He will be at my mercy.
Он будет в моей милости.
He will be at my mercy. For I will roll this head all about the room.
Потому что я буду катать эту голову по комнате.
For I will roll this head all about the room. Until he promises to give us what we desire.
Пока он не пообещает дать нам то, что мы хотим.
Until he promises to give us what we desire. So be of good cheer, my friends.
Так что взбодритесь, друзья мои.
So be of good cheer, my friends. For all will yet be well.
Ибо все будет хорошо.
For all will yet be well. The next morning the soldier with the green whiskers.
На следующее утро солдат с зелеными бакенбардами.
The next morning the soldier with the green whiskers. Led the lion to the great throne room.
Привел льва в великий тронный зал.
Led the lion to the great throne room. And bade him enter the presence of Oz.
И велел ему войти к Оз.
And bade him enter the presence of Oz. The lion at once passed through the door.
Лев тотчас вошел в дверь.
The lion at once passed through the door. And glancing around saw, to his surprise.
И, оглянувшись, увидел, к своему удивлению.
And glancing around saw, to his surprise. That before the throne was a ball of fire.
Что перед троном стоит огненный шар.
That before the throne was a ball of fire. So fierce and glowing.
Такой горячий и сияющий.
So fierce and glowing. He could scarcely bear to gaze upon it.
Что он едва мог смотреть на него.
He could scarcely bear to gaze upon it. His first thought was.
Его первой мыслью была.
His first thought was. That Oz had by accident caught on fire and was burning up.
Что Оз случайно загорелся и горит.
That Oz had by accident caught on fire and was burning up. But when he tried to go nearer.
Но когда он попытался подойти поближе.
But when he tried to go nearer. The heat was so intense.
Жар был так силен.
The heat was so intense. That it singed his whiskers.
Что обжег ему усы.
That it singed his whiskers. And he crept back tremblingly to a spot nearer the door.
И он, дрожа, отполз к месту поближе к двери.
And he crept back tremblingly to a spot nearer the door. Then a low, quiet voice came from the ball of fire.
Затем из огненного шара раздался низкий, тихий голос.
Then a low, quiet voice came from the ball of fire. And these were the words it spoke.
И это были слова, которые он произнес.
And these were the words it spoke. I am Oz, the great and terrible.
Я Оз, великий и ужасный.
I am Oz, the great and terrible. Who are you, and why do you seek me?
Кто ты и почему ищешь меня?
Who are you, and why do you seek me? And the lion answered.
И лев ответил.
And the lion answered. I am a cowardly lion, afraid of everything.
Я трусливый лев, всего боюсь.
I am a cowardly lion, afraid of everything. I came to you to beg that you give me courage.
Я пришел к вам просить, чтобы вы дали мне смелости.
I came to you to beg that you give me courage. So that in reality I may become the king of beasts.
Чтобы я действительно мог стать царем зверей.
So that in reality I may become the king of beasts. As men call me.
Как люди называют меня.
As men call me. Why should I give you courage?
Почему я должен придать тебе смелости?
Why should I give you courage? Demanded Oz.
Спросил Оз.
Demanded Oz. Because of all wizards you are the greatest.
Потому что из всех волшебников вы самый великий.
Because of all wizards you are the greatest. And alone have power to grant my request.
И только у вас есть сила исполнить мою просьбу.
And alone have power to grant my request. Answered the lion.
Ответил лев.
Answered the lion. The ball of fire burned fiercely for a time.
Некоторое время огненный шар яростно горел.
The ball of fire burned fiercely for a time. And the voice said.
И голос сказал.
And the voice said. Bring me proof.
Принесите мне доказательства того.
Bring me proof. That the wicked witch is dead.
что злая ведьма мертва.
That the wicked witch is dead. And that moment I will give you courage.
И в тот же момент я одарю тебя храбростью.
And that moment I will give you courage. But as long as the witch lives.
Но пока ведьма жива.
But as long as the witch lives. You must remain a coward.
Ты будешь оставаться трусом.
You must remain a coward. The lion was angry at this speech.
Лев рассердился на эту речь.
The lion was angry at this speech. But could say nothing in reply.
Но ничего не мог сказать в ответ.
But could say nothing in reply. And while he stood silently gazing at the ball of fire.
И пока он молча стоял, глядя на огненный шар.
And while he stood silently gazing at the ball of fire. It became so furiously hot.
Тот стал таким неистово горячим.
It became so furiously hot. That he turned tail and rushed from the room.
Что он повернул хвост и бросился из комнаты.
That he turned tail and rushed from the room. He was glad to find his friends.
Он был рад найти своих друзей.
He was glad to find his friends. Waiting for him.
Ожидающих его.
Waiting for him. And told them of his terrible interview with the wizard.
И рассказал им о своей ужасной беседе с волшебником.
And told them of his terrible interview with the wizard. What shall we do now?
Что нам теперь делать?
What shall we do now? Asked Dorothy sadly.
Печально спросила Дороти.
Asked Dorothy sadly. There is only one thing we can do.
Есть только одно, что мы можем сделать.
There is only one thing we can do. Return the lion.
Ответил лев.
Return the lion. And that is to go to the land of the Winkies.
Это отправиться в страну мигунов.
And that is to go to the land of the Winkies. Seek out the wicked witch, and destroy her.
Найти злую ведьму и уничтожить ее.
Seek out the wicked witch, and destroy her. But suppose we cannot?
А если мы не сможем?
But suppose we cannot? Said the girl.
Сказала девушка.
Said the girl. Then I shall never have courage.
Тогда у меня никогда не будет храбрости.
Then I shall never have courage. Declared the lion.
Заявил лев.
Declared the lion. And I shall never have brains.
И у меня никогда не будет мозгов.
And I shall never have brains. Added the Scarecrow.
Добавил Страшила.
Added the Scarecrow. And I shall never have a heart.
И у меня никогда не будет сердца.
And I shall never have a heart. Spoke the Tin Woodman.
Сказал Железный Дровосек.
Spoke the Tin Woodman. And I shall never see Aunt Em and Uncle Henry.
И я никогда не увижу тетю Эм и дядю Генри.
And I shall never see Aunt Em and Uncle Henry. Said Dorothy, beginning to cry.
Сказала Дороти, начиная плакать.
Said Dorothy, beginning to cry. Be careful.
Будь осторожна.
Be careful. Cried the green girl.
Воскликнула зеленая девочка.
Cried the green girl. The tears will fall on your green silk gown.
Слезы упадут на твое зеленое шелковое платье.
The tears will fall on your green silk gown. And spot it.
И запятнают его.
And spot it. So Dorothy dried her eyes and said.
Итак, Дороти вытерла глаза и сказала.
So Dorothy dried her eyes and said. I suppose we must try it.
Полагаю, мы должны попробовать.
I suppose we must try it. But I am sure I do not want to kill anybody.
Но я уверена, что не хочу никого убивать.
But I am sure I do not want to kill anybody. Even to see Aunt Em again.
Даже чтобы снова увидеть тетю Эм.
Even to see Aunt Em again. I will go with you.
Я пойду с тобой.
I will go with you. But I'm too much of a coward to kill the witch.
Но я слишком трус, чтобы убить ведьму.
But I'm too much of a coward to kill the witch. Said the lion.
Сказал лев.
Said the lion. I will go too.
Я тоже пойду.
I will go too. Declared the Scarecrow.
Заявил Страшила.
Declared the Scarecrow. But I shall not be of much help to you, I am such a fool.
Но я вам ничем не помогу, я так глуп.
But I shall not be of much help to you, I am such a fool. I haven't the heart to harm even a witch.
У меня не хватит духу причинить вред даже ведьме.
I haven't the heart to harm even a witch. Remarked the Tin Woodman.
Заметил Железный Дровосек.
Remarked the Tin Woodman. But if you go, I certainly shall go with you.
Но если ты пойдешь, я обязательно пойду с тобой.
But if you go, I certainly shall go with you. Therefore it was decided.
Поэтому было решено.
Therefore it was decided. To start upon their journey the next morning.
Отправиться в путь на следующее утро.
To start upon their journey the next morning. And the woodman sharpened his axe.
И дровосек наточил свой топор.
And the woodman sharpened his axe. On a green grindstone.
На зеленом точильном камне.
On a green grindstone. And had all his joints properly oiled.
И хорошенько смазал все свои суставы.
And had all his joints properly oiled. The Scarecrow stuffed himself with fresh straw.
Страшила набился свежей соломой.
The Scarecrow stuffed himself with fresh straw. And Dorothy put new paint on his eyes.
А Дороти накрасила ему глаза новой краской.
And Dorothy put new paint on his eyes. That he might see better.
Чтобы он лучше видел.
That he might see better. The green girl, who was very kind to them.
Зеленая девушка, которая была очень добра к ним.
The green girl, who was very kind to them. Filled Dorothy's basket with good things to eat.
Наполнила корзину Дороти вкусной едой.
Filled Dorothy's basket with good things to eat. And fastened a little bell around Toto's neck.
И повязала колокольчик на шею Тотошки.
And fastened a little bell around Toto's neck. With a green ribbon.
Зеленой лентой.
With a green ribbon. They went to bed quite early.
Они легли спать довольно рано.
They went to bed quite early. And slept soundly until daylight.
И крепко спали до рассвета.
And slept soundly until daylight. When they were awakened by the crowing of a green cock.
Когда их разбудил крик зеленого петуха.
When they were awakened by the crowing of a green cock. That lived in the backyard of the palace.
Жившего на заднем дворе дворца.
That lived in the backyard of the palace. And the cackling of a hen.
И кудахтанье курицы.
And the cackling of a hen. That had laid a green egg.
Снесший зеленое яйцо.
That had laid a green egg.